All right, y'all. What's up? It's Devin back with another video. You know what I'm saying? Start off before I start talking about the topic of today. Today was a long day, man. Long day. Like, so last night, well, yesterday I left work early. I ain't gonna lie to you, and because I had to work today, I had to mentor a teen apprenticeship class that my little brother is in. So I left work early yesterday at like 12:30 because I'm like I'm gonna be at work till like 4 tomorrow, 8 to 4. My normal work schedule on a Saturday. So I'm like, shit, I'm leaving work early tomorrow. I mean Friday. So today is Saturday when I'm recording this video. But yeah, I had to wake up at like the ass crack of dawn to go pick him up to take him to class. Um yeah. So it was like I had to get up at like 6:30. I don't like to get up that early, man. Hell no. So I got up at 6:30, got dressed, whatever. Stayed the night in my house, you know what I'm saying? Uh had a good night last night. Anyways, so yeah, I left her house to go get my brother and stuff for class. Class was enjoyable today. I got to hang out with all the other kids that's in the class. Got to enjoy their personalities. There's a lot of personalities in that class, so had a fun time just getting to know them better and hang out with them. Their graduation is next week, so the program is coming to an end. Uh, it was an eventful thing to be a part of, so had to do that, and then I had to take my brother home. And then on the way home, I ran out of gas. I ran out of gas, man. It was crazy. I ran out of gas right as I got off the exit to go home. Well, yeah, on the way, I had to go to the mall. I had to go to Walmart to get a little bit more stuff from my house. I had to get a new water flosser and some actual floss and some mouthwash. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep my mouth clean. And I had to get some lady stuff for my yeah. So yeah, that's what I did today. Now I finally got home at like around 6. Um, my cat was under the bed. He was nervous. He didn't take his medicine today, so I had to make sure he was straight and all that stuff. But and then I was gonna record this video, and when I went to go record this video, my webcam broke, so I had to go get a new one. Because I did want to upload this video today, but it's a little bit late. It's 8 o'clock right now, so I'm just like, I can upload it on Sunday. Sunday's a good day, and the Cavs is playing right now. It's my favorite team, so I don't want to rush this video, but at the same time, I want to go basketball. I want to watch my team play. I hope we don't lose tonight, because if we lose, we going down 0-3, and ain't nobody coming back from down 0-3. So yeah, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna go through all the details, everything. Like that's not the issue. But I want to watch my team play today. So yeah, but today's video topic I want to talk about was how much I love basketball, but also how I was trauma bonded to it and how I let go of it. So sensitive topic to an extent, but not necessarily, because it's just like, basketball is just a thing. But for me growing up, it was more than just a thing. It was my life, honestly. Um, when I was born in Brooklyn, born in poverty, lived in poverty up until I was able to move out my mom's house, which I told you that story before on my first episode. But the only reason I started walking was because of basketball. And it's funny, like the way my mom and my dad tell the story, like the same way. It's like, yeah, one day we just left you at the babysitter's house, and then when we came to get you, you were standing up and you were just shooting the ball in the hoop over and over and over and over. No misses, just swish, 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 swish. And then that day we decided to put it back. And I was like, hey man, I guess. And ever since, let me turn on this mic a little bit. It's a little audio a little high. But ever since then, yeah, I just been playing basketball, watching it, studying it, understanding it since that time. So yeah, I didn't start walking until I would say I was like I wasn't even one yet, or I was reaching 1 years old, and basketball was the way I was able to start walking. So yeah, basketball is still a big part of my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's never gonna go away, but it's like, I don't take it as serious as I used to. So from I want to say 3 years old. Well, I've been dribbling the basketball ever since I was able to walk too, apparently. So there's that. But when I was 3 years old, I feel like that's when I became like human conscious. Like when you have your first thought, first memory, and you remember it and you realize it and all that stuff. So 3 years old, that's when I moved to Germany, and because my dad was in the military and all that stuff. And my first memory was me getting on a plane to go to Germany. I think it was before 9/11. Um, which is crazy. It was like I don't want to say like that month, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 months before when my dad got shipped off to Germany. So I remember my mom talking on the phone to her friends that was living in New York, and we was watching on TV the towers falling and all that stuff. So yeah, my first getting on a plane to go to Germany, and I'll never forget it either because we got on the plane, and I was up in there giddy, happy. I'm like, hey, I'm about to go fly, gang. About to go fly, you know what I'm saying? So, and I remember when the plane took off, the turbulence, I was scared because I was like, bro, the plane about to fall, it's about to crash. And then I was like, I was holding the plane walls and the seats so I wouldn't fall. And I was like, bro, I know I'm gonna survive this plane crash. That was my thought. I was like, I know I'm gonna survive, but I'm gonna hold on just in case I fall. You know what I'm saying? But at the time I didn't know it was just turbulence, bro. You know how the plane be when it take off. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, Mom, look at me. I'm sticking to the seats like bubble gum, so I can't fall. Like I remember that like it was yesterday. And then after that, I remember when the plane started taking off and all that stuff. And I was looking over like the world when we was flying, and like I just seen nothing but green, like just green land. You know what I'm saying? And then finally got there and all that stuff. And then like I want to say like a couple weeks later, I was out with my parents, and I'm not gonna lie, like I am still a mama's boy. I love my mom, and that's just what it is. But I'm not one of those mama boys that's like stuck up her ass because like I ain't gonna lie, them niggas be weird. So, but I'm a mama's boy. I love my mom. She raised me pretty much my whole life. Like I said, I didn't really start to get to know my dad again until I was like 17 years old because they separated, and once they separated, it was just like, all right, it's just me and my mom. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I remember she was walking across the street, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to go follow after my mom, not knowing there was a 16-wheeler coming at full speed. And right when I was getting across the street, my dad jerked me up by my shirt, and boy, I almost got killed by the motherfucking 16-wheeler. So I do remember that too. And then I just remember a lot of stuff from that time. But it's like everything sounds like spotty because you like when you a kid, your brain is not like fully developed, not fully functional, all that stuff. But like I remember like days and times and all that stuff when I was a kid, when I was living in Germany. And specifically, I remember my first basketball moment. Because I used to play basketball every day when I lived in Germany, like literally every day. My mom, she would have my day set up for me essentially. So I would wake up, get out of bed, make my bed, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. Um, she had all that stuff set up for me. Like she had the toothpaste out, toothbrush, rags, all that set up for me. So like all I had to do was just go through the routine, and I've been following that routine all the way until now, until adulthood. I mean, obviously some alterations to it, skincare, uh, deeper cleaning and brushing teeth, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So she had my whole joint set up for me. So after I brush my teeth and wash my face, I go eat breakfast. And my mom had the breakfast out ready for me, and most of the time it was cereal. Um, and then after that, she had my clothes out ready for me to wear. And my parents, the way they are, they want me to be swagged out at all times. So like, if y'all know me now and you see me, dressing nice, shout out to my parents. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want me looking crazy, no matter the circumstances. If it was poor, or if we had it going good for ourselves. Like they was like, nah, my child not gonna be looking like a bum. You know what I'm saying? So even in my baby picture, like one of my baby pictures, like I was like maybe like a couple months old. My whole fit match. I had on a white shirt with like I got I think some animals on it. Had some I think I had on some blue sweats or something, and I had on the motherfucking Eddie Jones Team Jordans as a baby. You know what I'm saying? My parents make sure I was fresh. You know what I'm saying? They was not playing about me, and I mean it carried on to my life. So like maybe another episode down the line, I'll tell y'all about my sneaker obsession. Show y'all. I won't show y'all. Well, I can show y'all all my sneakers. I don't really care. Like they sneakers. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It just carried on. So yeah. But my first basketball memory is hilarious because my dad was in the military, and sometimes when he would go off to the base, whatever, I'd go watch him train and stuff. And I remember one time I went to go watch him train. This man was lifting cars, and my other little brothers, not my mom's kids, but my dad's kids, and I was telling them that. So I was like, "Yo, don't mess with dad, bro." They was like, "Why?" I was like, "Bro, when I was a kid and he was in the military, I used to see this man lifting cars." And they was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, don't mess with dad. He'll take your head off." So there's that. But then I remember he came home from work one day, and I was in the backyard playing basketball. I was hooping for hours. I had the little tykes go. You know what I'm saying? I was out there rolling, getting it on, and my dad wanted to play me in basketball. So I was like, all right, check up. And we was hooping, whatever. And he got the ball first, and then he did what he did as a big person at the time. Cause me and my dad the same height, and if you know me, you know right now I'm only 5'5", bro. On a good day, 5'5", 5'6" maybe, but on a good day I'm 5'5". So we was in the backyard playing basketball, whatever, whatever. Cool. He got the bucket, whatever. He's like, all right, your turn, check up, right? So I was like, damn, how am I gonna get around this dude, bro? So I started doing a dribble, dribble, dribble crossover because I started to learn the Iverson crossover. You know what I'm saying? Bring that hoe out wide and shake your head with it. You know what I'm saying? Taking ankles, but I tried to do that shit, it ain't work. So I'm like, damn, I ain't agile enough yet. I ain't fast enough yet. So you know what I did? I punched him in his nuts, and when he fell on the ground, I ran around him and I dunked on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first basketball memory. So yeah, and that's kind of how everything went from there. Well, not necessarily like that, but like that's how everything went from there. And as I got older, I started playing basketball more. Started playing a lot of basketball video games. Um, I want to say my favorite basketball game around that time was NBA Live '05. No, it was '04. It was '04 because I was in kindergarten when LeBron came into the NBA. So growing up, my first two ever favorite basketball players was Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant. Um, just for Allen Iverson, I mean, when I was a kid, I had braids, I had cornrows. That was just me. That was my style. Like I had cornrows ever since my hair was actually able to be braided. So like 1 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old, all the way up to I was like, I want to say it was like 7. Cornrows. Like it wasn't even about Allen Iverson. It was just about, hey, this is my swag. This how I'm gonna live in it. You know what I'm saying? So Allen, like when I would watch basketball and I watch Allen Iverson, I would see myself in him. So he was my first ever favorite basketball player. And then after that, it was Kobe because like bro was a killer. Like at a young age, I don't know what it was, but I could see it. I'm just like, nah, this dude tough. And that was Kobe with the fro. So like I was like, nah, this dude tough. Like Kobe and AI, those were my first ever favorite basketball players. And then I never forget like when I got like a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? Because I think Kobe and Shaq like separated in '04, '05. I remember like I have a whole bunch of like old ass basketball cards and a whole bunch of old ass basketball pictures. And I'll never forget I had this Shaq and Kobe card, like a collectible card of them after they won a championship in I think 2001, I think. Yeah, because they three-peated. It was 99, 2000, 2001. And I had one of the cards or whatever. And then after they had split, whatever, I didn't know why they split at the time. I just know they split. And after they split, I took the card out the binder and I folded that shit, man. And my mom was pissed. She was like, "Boy, why the fuck you do that?" I said, "Man, they not friends anymore." So like I didn't know the context of everything, and I didn't know how much like cars would be worth later down the line and stuff like that. And especially after, Kobe passed away and all that stuff. So all right, so right now I'm in the middle of editing this video about that Kobe card I was telling you about. So I ended up finding the basketball binder. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the card because I still have the binder, all the cards in it. So I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Um, so here's the binder of basketball cards that I have. Um, it's a lot of cards in here, so it might be a minute until I can get to it. But you know, I got a lot of cards in here. Let me see if I can find it. Jesus Christ, this binder's so old it's sticky. Hold on, I'm gonna get to it. I have a Gilbert Arenas card when he played for the Golden State Warriors. Like, hold on. You see this right here? You see that right there? And I got the T Mac Orlando cards. Like, bro, I have so many basketball cards in here. But I'm gonna find the card real quick. Let me see. Mm, Here it is, right here. I found it. Look at this shit, like, dog. Look at it. You see it, bro? Like, dog. I was so heartbroken when these two split when I was a kid. I don't know if it's focusing though or not. I'll pull it back so y'all can see it better. But y'all see how I bent it, bro? I was like 3 years old. It's crazy. But I have so many basketball cards in here. It's insane. I have so many Kobe cards too. Like, here's another one. Um, Let me see what else. Here's another Kobe card that I have right here. And this ain't 24 Kobe. This is 8 Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Here's one of my Allen Iverson cards I have too with Kobe in it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. And this is just like the first like another Kobe card right here. This binder's so old, I don't even want to fold. Like, let me see if I got any more Kobe cards in here. I think I know for sure I do. But let me see. I'm still trying to look. Here's another one right here. Another Kobe card. Eight Kobe. So just letting y'all know, I ain't lying. You feel me? Let me see if I can find another one. Got a Shaq Finals MVP hollow card, whatever this is. My binder low key folding, so I'm gonna have to fix it after this after this video. Let's see. I think that's it. All the Cody cards I had. I thought I had more, but I know I have pictures of him in here too. So, um, well, this is a crazy card I have right here. I was supposed to give this back to somebody, but I kept it for myself. It's a Anthony Edwards college card. Um, yeah. Where is my Michael Jordan card I had in here? I can't find it. It's somewhere in here because I recently got it like not too long ago. Uh, Hope I ain't getting jacked for it. So, because people, once you know how people be. But I know it's a Jordan card in here somewhere because I opened the pack. It was the first card in the pack. So, but I can't find it. I'll find it eventually. But oh, here it is right here. Yeah, I got was this 92, 93 Jordan? Oh no, it's just a regular Jordan card. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it focused. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of basketball cards in this binder. Oh, I have another Jordan card too. 89, 90 Jordan card right here. So I got a lot of basketball cards, man. Um, like I said, I love the game. I love the sport. Um, got an All Star Kyrie card. It's my favorite player. I don't know why, but I have a John Cena card in here. Hilarious. Um, let me see if I can show y'all the pictures. Like this old Kobe picture I have right here. Like I have so much Kobe stuff in here, bro. Let's see if I have another. Yeah, I have another Kobe picture right here. So like I got shit in this binder. Um, but yeah, got a Kobe and Jordan picture when Jordan was on the Wizards. So you know what I'm saying? This is from yeah, uh, '02, '03. Um, but yeah, that's it for that, honestly. But yeah, I've been collecting basketball cards since I was really young. I just wanted to put this in the video just for the intermission. So, and yeah, my hair keep like flailing up and stuff. But anyways, we're not worried about that. But I didn't understand the context of the basketball cards. I was just like, oh, these cards, they cool. I'm collecting them. And I still got all those cards to this day too. So like, but at the time I didn't understand the context. And I was like, boy, you know how much these cards gonna be worth someday? And you over here fucking them up, boy. I should whoop your ass. And I was a kid. I was just like, all right, mom, fuck. So like, but it was just an emotional moment for me, just from a fan perspective as a kid when I didn't understand it. But once you get older, you start to do your research and all that stuff. You understand why they separated. But yeah, those are like my first basketball moments. And then, like I said, '03, '04, I was in kindergarten, and I don't know what happened, but something drew me to a guy named LeBron James, and ever since then, he's been my favorite like all time player. Like, because I've been watching him since I was in kindergarten, and I'm 28, so I've been watching him for literally 23 years. I started, when he came to NBA, I was 5 years old, and then obviously he came into the league straight out of high school. So like I watched a little bit of that every now and then because like the games would come on ESPN and all that stuff. So like I was really in tune with basketball at a young age anyway. So for real, I've been watching LeBron since I was like maybe four, for real, 3 and 4, honestly. Excuse me, I just finished eating some Dino Nuggets. Don't mind me if I keep burping, but yeah. So like something drew me to LeBron James. I don't know what it was, but like I'm low key LeBron Glazer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a stan. I'm objective, but I'm a LeBron Glazer for sure. Like the other day, my mom sent me an essay I wrote in what was it my it was in my freshman year of high school. I wrote an essay about LeBron James. And I was reading it, I was like, yo, I've been a LeBron fan this long. It's crazy. But I remember when he first came into the league, he had the Zoom Generations. My parents got them for me, you know what I'm saying? Because my favorite basketball player. And then I had every LeBron up until 12. And that's when they started getting like hideous. I ain't gonna lie. After 12, them shits start looking nasty. But shout out to my nigga Bron. The LeBron 20s, the best modern basketball shoe that he got. You know what I'm saying? But I started collecting LeBron sneakers all the way up from LeBron, the Zoom generations, all the way up to the LeBron 12s. So yeah, I've been a LeBron fan since literally since 2003. He was my favorite. Like I said, he's my favorite all-time basketball player. So you know, that was just my thing with basketball. And then I didn't really play organized. Well, I did play organized basketball in the summer when I went to go visit my grandmother in New York. And then when I did, my parents separated, and we had to live out there. We was homeless. We had to live house to house with it, like house to house and shelter to shelter and all that stuff. And what my mom did was ensuring my safety. So she let me stay with my grandmother a lot while she was doing what she needed to do in order to get us out of New York because my parents separated, and I ain't gonna lie, they was crashing out on each other. So, and that's another story too that I can tell about myself. But I stayed with my grandmother and my uncle a lot, and my uncle he loved basketball, and he's 4 years older than me, so I would compete with him a lot growing up, and all my other cousins that came around and stuff. So playing against him at a young age, like, really helped my basketball development, and like also because of it, it was times where I had to play up in like the summer leagues in the neighborhood with my grandmother's neighborhood. So like I was like 5 and 6. I had to play with the 7 and 8, 9 and 10 year olds because they're like, if you put Devin in his age group, it's not gonna look good. He's not gonna get better. So you gotta make him play with the older kids. So playing basketball with my uncle, and him just taking me just random places, that kind of like sped up my basketball development, but also my personal development too, as just a person. But the good thing, it was good things from that, but it was also bad things from that because I used to learn a lot of like crazy shit from him, and I used to just, I ain't gonna lie, when I wasn't with my mom, I was low key being bad, and she didn't know, because she was like, "Hey, my son innocent, he ain't bad," but like, boy, when I used to like live with my grandma sometimes, and my dad used to come around, I never forget the story he told me when I went to go visit him like a couple months ago. He was like, "Yo, Devin, you had a potty mouth since you was young." I was like, "Don't tell me this. You're not the first person to tell me this." He was like, "Yeah, I'll never forget one day you was hanging outside with your friends and y'all was just talking shit to each other, and you told this one kid, 'Man, nigga, my dad fuck your dad up.'" I started laughing. I was like, "Damn, bro, what was I thinking?" I mean, it was hilarious. So, but yeah, so like I said, basketball was a big part of my life, and when I moved to Roanoke for the first time, well, for the second time, because I lived in Roanoke when I was 5 years old. I went to Crystal Springs Elementary, when I was here. So when I moved back to Roanoke the second time, that's when I started playing like legit organized basketball. And around that time, I was kind of studying the sport, but I was just like, yo, I'm about to do the moves I see my favorite players doing, or I'm about to do the moves I see on 2K. Like, people that know me know I know how to dribble. Like, that's my like number one skill for real. And I learned how to dribble from 2K, like, and like, obviously Allen Iverson. So like that's where I got all my like animations from. It's 2K. So I started playing organized basketball when I got here for the second time. And the thing with that was, when I got here, they did not have a team for my age group in any area of the city. So I had to play up two age groups. I was 8 years old. I had to play in the was it 9 and 10 age group, I think. So like the competition was obviously steep at that time because like I said, I'm a short person. I'm only 5'5", but at that time, boy, I was probably like 3'6". You know what I'm saying? And when you see people older than you, like 2 or 3 years, you like, bro, why you so big? You know what I'm saying? So I had to play up a age, two age groups, and it was a learning experience for me because like some of the kids I was guarding, like they was obviously bigger than me and faster than me and stronger than me and shit. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck do I do? But at the same time, I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna have to get it in how I live because, like, since I was the youngest dude on the team, I ain't get that much playing time. But you know, practicing with the older kids and stuff, getting everything, getting the ball rolling and getting out my comfort zone and figuring out how to maneuver around these dudes. That's just what it was. So, you know, um, then my next year, 9 and 10, um, I didn't play rec basketball. I don't even think I played basketball that year at all. Nah, I played football the next year. I took the year out from basketball. Yeah, I played football the next year. Because that's when I moved to Southeast in Roanoke, and yeah, in the spring, and I ended up playing football, and that was a crazy time because I remember when I first moved to Southeast, the team I played for ain't win a game in like 4 years, just in my age group, I think, or just in general. I don't know, but I know they ain't win no games. You feel me? And then got there, started playing football. I didn't know how to play lick of football. I just watched it on TV every now and then, and I was like, "Yo, I want to play running back." So that's just what it was. And then I started playing football. I started learning how to play, like get get comfortable with it. And the reason why I was drawn to football is because I played basketball, and I'm just like, yo, football is just basketball without dribbling, if you think about it. So that's why I was like, I want to play running back, so I can juke niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because in basketball, a crossover is basically a juke. You know, Euro step is basically a juke too. You know what I'm saying? Spin move kind of the same, but in basketball, you gotta dribble it, or you gotta do a layup or a jump shot after the spin. But in football, you can spin on a dude and you can keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I play football. And I got to the team, whatever. First game we won, and he was like, "Oh my god, we haven't won a game in like 4 years." I was like, "Y'all niggas suck." So it was a eventful time with football, and then after football season's over, I played basketball. I played rec basketball for the same team. Same thing happened too. They was like, "Bro, we ain't win a game in 2 years." I was like, "Bro, y'all some trash." You know what I'm saying? So the team I got on was the same team from last year, but we was just an older age group because we got older. I think I was in either fourth grade or fifth grade. I don't remember, but yeah, so I finally got to play in my correct age bracket. And boy, I tell you, it was raps from there, you know what I'm saying? Like I was genuinely out there cooking. And when I got to the team, like I said, they didn't win a game in 2 years. And if y'all heard that, I live near the air well, yeah, I live near the airport. So if you heard some planes, I'm sorry. But anyways, so when I got to the team, like I said, they didn't win a game in 2 years. Um I basically carried the team throughout the whole season, and we ended up winning 8 games. Yeah, we went 8-2, and it was just like, Devin, bro, I'm glad that you came to the team. I'm glad you finally here. Like they were like low key worshiping me because it was like, bro, we needed somebody like you on the team because like it was like, bro, nobody on the team could dribble. We couldn't shoot nothing. Like nobody knew how to like we knew how to play basketball, but like we didn't know how to put it together. And so I guess when I came to the team, I was able to do that for them. And yeah, I carried the team throughout the whole season. Like I pretty much, if we were keeping like tracking stats, bro, I pretty much led them every stat. So I feel like the only teams that we lost to were like the hood niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like the inner city kids. Like those are the only teams we lost to. So but every other team we beat. So yeah, that's the start of, I guess, the rise of me becoming like a decent basketball player. Was just that year in itself. And then, got to middle school. I went to, like I said, I went to Fishwick. We was ass at basketball. I told that in the last video. I was like, bro, my whole time going to Fishwick, I went there for 3 years. It's Jackson. Well, it was Jackson when I was going there. I went there for 3 years. We only won one game my 3 years there, bro. So trash. Like the school was full of like foreign kids, so like nobody played basketball. Damn. So like basketball there was a wash essentially. So sixth, seventh, eighth grade, I played basketball at Fishwick. I keep saying Fishwick. That's the name of the school now, but yeah, I played basketball there. Um, you know, over the years, like I started like to develop my skills and all that stuff because in like sixth and seventh grade, like I had a hard time with like not traveling when I got to the paint. So like I make a move, boom, boom, boom. I get to the paint. I take like 3 steps every now and then, and that was my biggest problem, like playing ball in middle school. So yeah, I had to work on that. So, but during that time, like I watched a lot of basketball. Like I said, a lot of LeBron, a lot of Kobe. AI was out the league at that time, or he was getting ready to get out the league at that time. So those are the only players I like pretty much watch. And then during that time, it was the '08 Celtics, that team. And I ain't hate them, but I just hated that they kept like beating LeBron because LeBron my favorite player. I'm just like, yo, y'all not gonna keep whooping my boy, yo. It's like 1-on-5 out there. That's how I was seeing it, just as a fan of the game because like LeBron is he's just that dude, you know what I'm saying? And he was just so fucking good. Like I would literally watch him carry his teams to like great seasons. And then he gets to the playoffs, he take them far. They wouldn't get to the finals. They made the finals one time when he was in Cleveland. That was in '07, and they played the Spurs. And I remember like watching parts of that series, and I ain't gonna lie, like it was terrible because like the whole team was keying in on Bron, and it was making him shoot, and he couldn't really shoot yet. So like he had like a low key, he had a terrible series. Like I ain't gonna lie, like he shot like 35% from the field because they was making him shoot, and they was packing the paint. So yeah, that's just what it was. And then '08 the Celtics won, and I remember Game 7, the Cavs took them to Game 7, and I remember watching Game 7, and I think LeBron had, I think he had 43, I think, and Paul Pierce had 41. And I remember just watching them go head to head. I think that's one of the first actually like sat down and watched the whole game because I knew how important Game 7 was because I played basketball. I played basketball video games and all that stuff. So I understood the importance of a Game 7. I was like, you know what? Today I'm able to finally watch a basketball game. So I'm going to sit down and watch this whole game. And it was a crazy game because like LeBron was like literally keeping the Cavs in the game against the big three Celtics with Rondo. So I ain't gonna say big four because Rondo wasn't Rondo yet, but like, you know what I'm saying? Bron was keeping him in the game, and I'm just like, yo, this dude is so tough. How is he even doing this? So, that's just how I watch basketball. That's when I started like really like starting to pay more attention to the game because I'm just like, all right, how do I go about actually being, how do I go about actually being a good basketball player? You know what I'm saying?